Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Amelia Lee. President Joe Biden announced earlier today that he is ending his 2024 presidential re-election campaign. This amidst multiple Democratic leaders calling for President Biden to drop his re-election bid. West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin being one of the latest. Tonight, we're getting reaction from local leaders on President Biden's decision. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear released a statement on Facebook about the decision. Governor Beshear calls for unity. He says this decision was in the best interest of the country and the Democratic Party. He says in part, quote, President Biden will be remembered as a consequential president. He showed up for Kentucky after devastating tornadoes and historic flooding, delivering immediate federal aid that is helping to rebuild our communities, end quote. U.S. Senator Mitch McConnell released a statement regarding President Joe Biden's choice to leave the re-election campaign, criticizing the internal conflict in the Democratic Party. In his statement, U.S. Senator McConnell says, quote, for 4 years, the American people have faced historic inflation at home, chaos at the border, and weak leadership on the world stage. Our nation is less prosperous and less secure than it was in January 2021. We cannot afford 4 more years of failure, end quote. The Kentucky Democratic Party released a statement reflecting on President Biden's service amid his decision to withdraw from the race. In the statement, KDP Chairman Coleman Elridge says, quote, while passing the torch may not be easy, we respect that at times it is necessary. We thank President Biden for the many years of service he devoted to helping our nation become a better version of itself and for his admirable decision to pave the way for a new generation of Democratic leaders, end quote. Congressman Hal Rogers released a statement on the decision as well. In his statement, Rogers says, quote, as Democrats scramble to decide the next steps with the historic change of leadership, the Republican Party firmly stands with President Trump and his ability to rescue our country from the failed policies of the Biden administration. Our nation has deeply suffered from crisis after crisis, with Biden and Harris at the helm of the destructive Democratic Party, end quote. After hearing the news that President Joe Biden had withdrawn from the upcoming presidential election, WYMT went out into the community to get the reactions from the mountains. A common reaction among people is surprise and anticipation for what is to come next.
To be honest, I was I don't really know. I was kind of like confused about it, but at the same time, I feel like it'd be somewhat good, you know, just try and get someone new in the office. So.
President Joe Biden announced earlier today that he is endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris to be the new Democratic presidential nominee.
We had a couple showers move through the area this morning, but aside from a few lingering right now, we are staying mostly dry. Let's take a look at our Buffalo Mountain Cam. Look at this. Just a few clouds out there, but sun is starting to peek through, which is always nice. Looking at our current temperatures right now, we're looking at 82 in Jackson, 79 in Hazard, Somerset, Monticello, 84 and 83, and Pikeville sitting at 80. Right now, this is what radar looks like. Staying pretty clear, just a shower over there in Knott County, but other than that, all clear in our area. We did have a good bit of rain today. Looking over here just south of London, we had over 3 inches of rain over the last 24 hours, so they're definitely getting a lot of rain. So make sure to download that WYMT First Alert weather app, and you can get a planner just like this and your latest information. Amelia?
Thank you, Drake. A 48-year-old man was missing in the Red River Gorge for 2 weeks. Scott Hearn of Ohio was last heard from in early June. Officials with the Wolfe County Search and Rescue went on several searches beginning early in the last week. Chief John May says they eventually found him with the help from other agencies and hikers.
So like beyond Bells Falls and so forth, and even up above Sal's Branch waterfalls we were checking. And when we put a team into Bells Falls, they noticed a track when they got way up in there, and also a walking stick mark. And we knew he had a walking stick. One of the eyewitnesses that had seen him on the 6th reported him using the walking stick.
May says a lot of work went into finding Hearn. Coming up tonight at 6, hear how officials were able to put an end to the days-long search. May says in cases like this, having a plan is important. He says you should always prepare on what to do in cases of emergency, such as having batteries, a flashlight, food, water, and anything else you might need if stranded.
But just some basic things to do, you know, do a little research on the trail that you're going to be going out on. Make sure you know where it goes. Marked trails are your best option. If you get on unmarked trails or unofficial trails, you know, there's really no blazing out there for that, so you're kind of just finding your way. And a lot of those trails have little offshoots that go different places, and that can get you spun up, you know, spun around pretty quick.
May says it is important to tell people where you are going and what time you plan on being back. He adds it is important to download maps off the trail before you get there in case you lose cell service. Solar energy is becoming popular through the country. One Kentucky man added that solar panels to his home. Alexa Minton has the details.
Andy McDonald says installing solar panels back in 2011 was one of the best decisions he made.
I installed my solar array in 3 phases. The first phase was these first 5 panels you see behind me.
And it's a decision he continues to build on even years later.
So we decided to add the second array, which is an additional 4 panels.
Andy is a coordinator for Solarize Frankfort, one of the 4 group purchasing programs developed by the Kentucky Solar Energy Society to reduce uncertainty and the price tag for Kentuckians interested in going solar.
It's not an inconsequential investment, but it is an investment in that over the long term it will provide a financial return.
The Solarize program is active for Lexington, Louisville, Boyle County area, and Frankfort, and has proved successful in 2023, helping 166 Kentucky households go solar. But the program hasn't always been met with sunshine.
I understand that, you know, people have a lot of questions about solar energy. It's a fairly new technology still.
Recently, 2 proposed solar projects in Fayette County have met some local pushback, with concerns about converting farmland into solar arrays. In just this past legislative session, lawmakers passed Senate Bill 349, making it more difficult for utility companies to retire old gas and coal plants in favor of a more economical option of solar energy. Even with this pushback, Andy still thinks Kentucky's future is solar.
You know, just as we were blessed to have coal in the ground and natural gas in the ground and abundant water resources in Kentucky, we also have abundant solar resources. The sun shines on every home. Solar is a major new industry that's creating hundreds of thousands of jobs around the United States and thousands of jobs here in Kentucky.
For WKYT, I'm First Alert meteorologist Alexa Minton.
Coming up, hear from a couple who knows all too well how CPR can make a difference in a life or death situation.
We are starting to dry up now after some rain throughout the day, and I'll have your work week forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Stay with us.